Why don't you allow us to have our guns and allow us to have our freedoms while also taking steps to prevent mental health issues in our country and not demonizing a certain group of people and then making them do stupid stuff? How about we actually lock up criminals and go harder down on crime instead of taking away people's guns who are doing it legally and would protect you, by the way, madam? Are you taking away your security guards' firearms in an emergency crisis, or is it just me? I'm just asking. What's up, guys? Welcome to Let It Be Heard, where we are doers of the word, not hearers only. I'm your host, Jaden Heard, and today we're going to be learning why it's okay to take away people's guns if it's an emergency. Take a listen.
Yeah. But your point is valid.
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carry license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right, in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute. There are restrictions on free speech. There are restrictions on my freedoms. In this emergency, this 11-year-old and all these parents who have lost all these children, they deserve my attention to have the debate about whether or not in an emergency.
Pause it. The restrictions are listed in the Constitution. Like we know the restrictions. And by the way, this was clarified. The Second Amendment was clarified as far as through letters that it was meant to protect people private militias or private people who wanted to own cannons on their ships. So if homeboy named Justin Tomlinson in the 1700s, if he can own a cannon, you cannot restrict my right to own a firearm, let alone in an emergency. That's absolutely not. No, you can't find any exception to that for a national emergency. If anything, I would say the opposite is true. The reason why we have this Constitution is because even in emergencies, they want to make sure that our freedoms were protected from tyrants like you. I'll let her keep going.
See, we can create a safer environment. Because what about their constitutional rights? I took an oath to uphold those too. And if we ignore this growing problem.
Pause it. So now she's gonna what she's gonna do is she's gonna take the moral high ground, right? And this is what these moral tyrants do. They'll appeal to emotions. They'll say, well, look at me. I'm looking out for the greatest interest for these 11-year-old children, right? So I'm gonna punish law-abiding citizens because of what criminals are doing. That's what I'm gonna do. So, but I'm just showing you guys how evil and how much these people just lie about this stuff. Go ahead.
Without being bold, I've said to every other New Mexican, your rights are subrogated to theirs, and they are not, in my view.
Wait a minute. You're talking about crimes. There are already laws against crimes. So how are their rights?
I got it. But again, if I'm unsafe.
Yeah, pause it. No, she's wrong. There's no Constitution amendment or right that we receive that can violate another constitutional right. So the right to life does not supersede the Second Amendment. The right to Second Amendment does not supersede life. Okay? This is just very simple. It's not an either or situation. It's both and. Why don't you allow us to have our guns and allow us to have our freedoms while also taking steps to prevent mental health issues in our country and not demonizing a certain group of people and then making them do stupid stuff? How about we actually lock up criminals and go harder down on crime instead of taking away people's guns who are doing it legally and would protect you, by the way, madam? Are you taking away your security guards' firearms in an emergency crisis, or is it just me? I'm just asking because you need protection, right? Don't I need protection too? Isn't crime rampant right now? Right? So she doesn't care about, she's lying. She doesn't actually care about people's safety. She cares about her own safety. And so she's going to keep her security guards, but take away our right to defend ourselves. You can hear the propaganda, but keep going.
Who's standing up for that right? If this climate is so out of control, somebody should do something. I'm doing as much as I know to do.
Madam Governor, do you really think that criminals are going to hear this message and not carry a gun?
Pause it. She said, if I'm unsafe, who's standing up for that right? We're standing up for your right to defend yourself, and you're trying to take that away. You're trying to take away your own right to defend yourself right now by doing this. In some emergency, you're trying to take away people's rights to own firearms to protect themselves, including, I'm assuming, yours, hopefully. I mean, or you're going to be who I think you are. You're going to keep your security guard around you with, their gun or your gun. It's basically the rules for all, but except for me, right? But I'll let her keep going.
Somebody should do something. I'm doing as much as I know to do.
No.
Madam Governor,
Yep.
do you really think that criminals are going to hear this message and not carry a gun in Albuquerque
That's right.
on the streets for 30 days?
No. But here's what I do think. It's a
So
pretty
what's the point?
resounding message.
No, it's a baseless message. It's a message with no action. It's a message with zero foundation. It has zero bearing on what's going to happen. It's going to change absolutely nothing. Again, she just admitted it too. It's just a message. It's just going to get the word out there, right? And she just admitted that the criminals are not even going to heed to it. You know, this is very familiar. It sounds like a similar situation that's going on our media platforms and on social media with big tech, right? They have all these solutions to try to get rid of extremism and all this stuff, and they want to ban conservatives off of social media. And this is why we here at RSBN highly recommend ExpressVPN.com. Have you guys ever wondered how free-to-access tech giants make all of their money? Well, they do this by tracking your searches, your video history, everything you click on, and then they ban you for it. They also build a profile on you and then sell off your sensitive data. And the good news is, though, when you use ExpressVPN on your phone or your computer or your tablet, you basically become somewhat anonymous. A lot of your online presence is hidden from your IP address, and this makes your activity much more difficult to trace and sell to advertisers. Now, what's more, ExpressVPN encrypts 100% of your network data to protect you from eavesdroppers and cyber criminals. Now, what I like most about it is how easy it is to use. You know, it just takes one click to protect all of your devices, and that's why ExpressVPN is rated #1 by Tech Radar. So let's stop allowing these big tech giants to take away our freedoms. Let's stop allowing them to ban us off of social media, and let's also take away their right to our data by going to expressvpn.com/RSBN. If you sign up for the annual subscription, you get 3 months for free. Again, that's expressvpn.com/RSBN. All right, now back to it. Yeah, this lady's lying out of her. Let's just look at the oath of office that she took when she became a governor. It says, every person elected or appointed to any office shall, before entering upon his duties, take and subscribe to an oath or affirmation that he or she will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and the laws of the state, and that he will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of his office to the best of his or her ability. Now, what does the Constitution say? Well, in the Second Amendment, it says you have the right to a well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state. She's talking about limiting crime, right? She's talking about these gun rights. She's talking about this crime and it's unsafe. Well, it literally says right here, it's necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So it says shall not be infringed. It doesn't say shall not be infringed except for when I say so, or except for a national emergency or a state emergency, or except when climate change is rampant. No, it says shall not be infringed. Okay, and you took an oath for this. This is insane. Article 2, Section 6 of the Bill of Rights. No law shall abridge the right of the citizen to keep and bear arms for security and defense, for lawful hunting and recreational use, and for other lawful purposes, but nothing herein shall be held to permit the carrying of concealed weapons. So again, very clear. It gave 3 examples. Four. Defense, lawful hunting, recreational use, and other lawful purposes. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. But anyway, I'm going to conclude it there. I think I made my point. Don't listen to these tyrants and their propaganda and what they say. They're just basically trying to appeal to your emotions to take away your rights. And it's nothing different. There's nothing new under the sun. This has all happened before. All the socialists, all the dictators took away people's guns, and they appeal to emotion, and they use these same kind of instances to basically make their case to ban your rights to own firearms. Guys, we're America. We love the Constitution. We love freedom. Let's keep our freedom. And let's not bow down to these tyrants, especially during COVID and election season coming up. You guys already know what's going to happen. But anyway, that was Let It Be Heard. Thank you guys so much for watching. And guys, have a good rest of your week. And God bless. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Be sure to check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and X. And be sure to hit that follow button and that join button. It'll take you over to our locals channel where you can further support the show and you can get some access to additional content. God bless.